Welcome to the Unscripted Journey podcast. I'm your host, Tim Shone. Around here, we believe in living life on purpose, not by permission. Each week, we'll talk real growth, fresh starts, and bold steps to create a life that's true to you. So grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's take this journey together.
Welcome to the Unscripted Journey, my friends. My name is Tim. I'm filling in for Cynthia today, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this quote from this incredible movie. Maybe you've heard of it before, but the quote comes from The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring by J.J. Tolkien, spoken by the magnificent Gandalf the Grey. And he says, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. Man, that's such a powerful line, especially when we're talking about the unscripted journey. But all we have to decide is what to do with the time that has been given to us. You know, in life, none of us have been handed a script. No one gets to choose where they were born, when they were born, or what challenges they would face. You know, Frodo didn't have that either. He didn't choose the ring. He was kind of forced into it if you actually seen the movies. Spoiler alert. A lot of times we don't choose many of the circumstances that we encounter in our lives. But one thing we can always do, we can always choose how we respond to those circumstances. Maybe the real power in life isn't control, it's decision. It's not that we have control over what happens, but it's the decision that we decide what to do with whatever circumstances we face. Friends, our time is limited. Time is not guaranteed to no one. I read the Bible. The Bible says that tomorrow is not guaranteed to anyone. Time is a gift. You know, seasons in our lives change. Seasons change. They're made to change. You know, hard things show up uninvited. I don't know about you, but I don't open the door and say, hey, come on, hard times. Come on, hard seasons. I don't welcome them and want them to come into my life, but they come, and they always come uninvited. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you've experienced a job loss or a health scare for yourself or somebody that you love. Maybe you've experienced an unexpected responsibility, but that now you have to deal with. Maybe you've encountered doors closing to you. Man, doors that you thought were open to you, all of a sudden they just closed shut. And maybe there's a dream that you've had in your heart and even in your mind, and you've been actually working out that dream to make it a reality, and that dream has been delayed. We don't control what we're given, but we control what we build with it. I'm going to say that again. We don't control what we're given, but we control what we build with it. I want to ask you, what season are you in right now in your life? What's going on in the season in your life right now? Are you wasting it? Are you surviving it? Or are you growing in it? You know, too many times in life I've heard this statement like, it's a crazy myth that when things settle down, then I will. It's like when things calm down, then I'll start. I'll start my dream, or I'll start pursuing something that I really want to do. Or the myth of when things settle down, when I have more time, when this or that happens, it's like, you know what I call that? I call that excuses. It's like when I feel ready. I'll be honest with you, most times in life, you never are going to be ready enough to jump and start doing that thing that you want to do. The truth is, life doesn't settle, it shifts. See, Gandalf wasn't saying, wait for better times. He was saying, decide in these times. Decide in the moment. Decide in the season that you're in. See, our responses shape our story. How you respond will shape your story. How you respond to the season and the times that you're in, the circumstances that you're in, will shape the story that will be written. See, hard seasons and hard times build strength. Delays develop character in you. So right now, if something is being delayed in your life, maybe there's character that needs to be built inside of you. And when there's pressure reveals priorities. Man, when the pressure's on, what's really important? What really matters to you? See, the unscripted parts of our lives often become the most meaningful chapters. I'm going to say that one again. The unscripted parts of our lives also become the most meaningful chapters. Sometimes things happen in our lives. Like, I think about for myself, there's been multiple times in my lives where there's been a pivot in my calling in life. Now, not necessarily the calling in my life, but how I pursued the calling in my life. For some of you who've listened to the podcast before know that I had a career, a ministry. I was a pastor for many years. I'm still an ordained minister, but I've pivoted out of pulpit, I call it pulpit ministry, and now I just, to be honest, I believe that every day is ministry in life, because ministry is simply the impartation of life, and we are to bloom where we're planted, and I believe that God has shifted and opened some other doors for me to make an impact in people's lives, and that's the greatest thing, is when you can know when things pivot, when your calling changes. The main calling of your life doesn't change, but maybe the avenue that you're being used in this particular season does. And I had to choose a moment to be like, do I listen? Do I pivot? Do I change with this season? And to keep growing and to keep maturing and to keep being fruitful in our lives, you have to be able to adapt. But while you're in this season, during this week, during this time, I want you to reflect on a couple questions that I think will really help you if you're in this particular season of yourself. I want you to ask, what season am I in? I need you to be honest with yourself to say, what am I in right now? What season am I in right now in my life? The second one, what decision have I been avoiding? Are you an avoider? Do you avoid making the hard decisions? The ones that you know you need to make, but you're not making them? I want to ask you that. I want you to ask yourself that question this week. And the third one, if I only controlled my response, what would I do differently starting today? Man, if only you can control my response, what would you do differently starting today? What would you do differently starting today? Would it be to start the conversation? Whatever that is. The conversation with yourself, or maybe with somebody else that you've been avoiding or you've been delaying. Maybe it's to make the call now, or these days, make the text. But I'll be honest with you, calling sometimes is so much more better than texting. And I think calling is making a comeback. Is it to take the step? Is it that you need to take the step right now? Because when you're not moving, you're standing still. I don't want you to take a step back. I want you to take a step forward. So what's the step that you need to take? Maybe you need to forgive. Maybe you need to forgive yourself for your past, or maybe you need to forgive somebody else, because when we don't forgive other people, it actually hurts us more than it hurts them. What do you need to launch in your life that you've been delaying? Because again, time is not our friend. Or maybe you just need to rest. Maybe you've been going, that you need to rest, to recharge, to refocus, to retool, to take that step. Or maybe you need to grow. Maybe this is a season of growth for you to then launch. I want to circle back to the quote I started at the beginning of this podcast. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. You don't need a perfect script. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to make a decision. I want to end with this. Your journey may be unscripted, but it's not without purpose. Well, that's all I have for you this week, friends. I hope that I can be able to talk to you again, and I hope this has brought value to your life and meaning to you so that you can do what you need to do.
Thanks so much for listening to the Unscripted Journey podcast. If today's episode lit a spark in you, keep that momentum going with the Unscripted Journey Reflection Journal. It's a guided space to help you tune in, take action, and start living life on your terms. It's available now on Amazon. Just click the link in the episode notes. And don't forget, I've got free resources waiting for you over at cynthiashone.com to support your growth between episodes. Until next time, live free, stay unscripted.